Andy Clausen doing a reading from his book Beat, Latter Days of the Beat Generation, a first-hand account.
Hi, this part is about Gregory Corso, a bit. Gregory could be merciless with other poets. H.D. Moe, David Moe, was a poetry activist running readings, popping up all over California, delivering his neo-constructive verse. He had a book called Plug in the Electric Dictionary. It seemed to me to be random imagery, unfamiliar syntax, and concept leaping. Many critics and Moe fans saw genius in the subconscious, unconscious, hyperconscious, odd and rare juxtapositions, the spontaneity of it, an avant-garde argonaut heard in the interior subtext seeds of a hyper-context lexicon. Poetry of the highest order. In the 70s, he had a newspaper called Love Lights. He'd sell it in newspaper coin machines next to the SF Chronicle, the Oakland Tribune, Bay Guardian, East Bay Express, Penny Saver, and the omnipresent porno, hot date newsprint periodicals the internet has largely replaced. Well, Love Lights always had nudity and sexuality on the cover. Folded in half through the news box window, one could see only the nakedness and the Love Lights masthead. In the lower unseen half, maybe a TV set or toaster would cover the genitals. The bottom half informed one, lo and behold, inside it was all boho, Bay Area poetry and illustrations. He'd sell maybe 4,000 an issue. A lot of paper racks sustained damage. Moe was a personable, often charming fellow, exuding sincerity. He carried a toothbrush in his breast pocket like it was a pen or nosegay. It reminded me of the Berkeley rock music critic, writer Jay Poet, who for months had a rubber pacifier around his neck on a string, sucking on it if he wasn't eating or speaking. I think it was some kind of therapy. I decided to obtain a trademark accessory, so I clipped one of those little round makeup mirrors on a front belt loop. It would send little bolts and sheets of light about a room. It bounced sunbeams and neon, and some folks even squatted low or knelt to see their reflections. In the late 80s in the cities, I carried a ball peen in a wire holster. Accessories might as well have practical purpose. Never know when you might need a hammer. Anyway, Moe carried a toothbrush. One evening, a group of us, Corso included, headed for a gala event. I'm pretty sure Alan was reading. We were warming up. I believe Gregory's confidant and translator George Scribani was there. 8 or 9 of us. It's a well-appointed apartment near Civic Center with real plaster walls, well-done OGs, oak floor, large paisley pillows, sturdy wooden chairs, and plush sink-in couches, and a Chesterfield from the days of the Maltese Falcon. Out the cracked for air kitchen window, one could hear the big bassoon boats and oboe tugs. Big notes expanding, shaking the potato fog as Carl Malden's 400-horse Interceptor engine roars up an asphalt mogul, and the eye poultice, crisp blue drinkability of the Ham's beer sign. Hear the tom-toms from the land of sky blue waters. Ham's the beer refreshing, Ham's beer. And the Chinese sounds like Mozart met Slavic proverbs as new money staggers into dark limos and Spanglish and Calexico, blasts from boombox sidewalks dancing and wall-shaking lowriders with the street side boo wafting. And David Moe wants all us to stop our attempts at humor and parsing of the day's news and listen to his new poem. He stands and delivers. I can only approximate, and I'm trying to do him justice, but it was something like vast vasectomy, pungent, King James, cobra, oscillating, pregnant, Bungalow, Saki, Elvis, Sargon 2, Electric Kitty, Pino, Orangutan, Rain Over Under, Whose Moon, Celery, Platonic, Plutonium, Aquinas, Virtual Illusion, Foot Drop, Neoplatonic, Platoons, Harmonica, Convergence, Ingrown, Hypothalamus, Bladder, Satan. There are maybe 8 of us in the room. Obviously, David had wanted to make sure Gregory Corso really had a chance to appreciate his verse. Gregory blurts out, "The worst! Bank robbing is noble compared to that. That is the worst, the worst, the worst I've ever heard." David, crestfallen, whispers a stunned, "Oh," and Gregory the Merciless turns to us all. "See, even his O is weak-willed." Corso often said, "A poet who can't hear his poetry sucks is not a poet." Makes sense to me. If you have something to say and have put in the effort to be competent with the tools of your trade or fancy, then if someone tells you it sucks, it should be like water on a rock, like spit in the ocean. Gregory asked me, anyway, this episode didn't deter Mo from publishing and promoting his work till he went. Gregory asked me before our big Corso returns to San Fran and North Beach High School Auditorium Poetry event, what if they don't like your poetry tomorrow? The critics, the publishers, the real smart ones will be there. What if they say you don't have it? I answered, well, I'll still have a job on Monday. I'll still be able to go to work, right?